How's it going to all you vintage board gamers out there? Well, gonna do something a little different on the channel today. Gonna get a good thorough look at this old board game, Abbott and Costello Who's on First Memory game. The hilarious guessing game based on the famous all-time classic comedy routine. 1978. Well, I'm a big Abbott and Costello fan, so one eBay search led to another, and eventually I stumbled upon this board game. So I went to YouTube to see if there was anything about it. Nothing there. So, here's a look at Abbott and Costello Who's on First Memory game. Let's take a look, shall we? Instructions, always handy. Okay, looks like the inside cover has the directions for playing Abbott and Costello Who's on First Memory game. We'll read the description, then we'll get out the pieces here. Description: one player is the batter while the other becomes the fielder. The fielder secretly sets up the stand-up fielders on the playing field, facing away from the batter. The batter then tries to guess the fielder's name at each position in as few turns as possible. Alright, we'll get back to this. Let's check out the board. Set this aside for a minute. Alright, what are we dealing with here? Down in the corner we've got who, what, today, tomorrow, I don't know, I don't care, nobody, because, which, and why. Classic. On deck circle, batter's box, and all the fielders' positions. Here are the contents of the game. Now, reading from my instructions over here again, the contents are supposed to be one baseball field playing board, we've got that, 10 die-cut fielders. So these would be your fielders here. Let's see if we've got 10. Why? Nobody. I don't know. I don't care. Today. What? Who? Because. Tomorrow. And which. We're right on point with those. 10 plastic stands. I already counted those. I think I'm missing one plastic stand. Yes, there are 9 down there. 20 die-cut batter's cards. Let's see. Alfalfa, garlic, frankfurter, artichoke, pinch hitter, cucumber, sandy witch, Andy Chovy, zucchini, Frenchy fry, pinch hitter, mayonnaise, broccoli, raisin, tomato, rhubarb, cauliflower, pizza, macaroon, and stew mulligan. It also comes with 2 dice with the names of the fielders. What, star, who, because, why, I don't care, tomorrow, nobody, that's kind of rubbed off, I don't know, today, and that might be it. Also included were 2 copies for some reason. Following is a version of the famous Abbott and Costello comedy routine. Try this routine with a friend. Might just have to do that. So, one side. I don't know what version this is. Maybe the one from the Naughty 90s movie, possibly. Does not say. That's the version that it came with. Oh, and a little ad. Old time ad. Actually, the set is complete. I came across this. Okay, I've got the game set up behind here, but let's go through these steps one by one. The object of the game is to correctly guess the fielder's name in each of the 10 positions in the fewest turns. So before the game begins, one player is the fielder and sits behind center field. So one player is going to have to sit back in that corner. The other player is the batter and sits behind the catcher. When there are more than 2 players, they divide into teams. So there's really only 2 players. So the other person's going to sit here. Alright. The fielder, the guy behind center field or lady, strips out 10 die-cut fielders and inserts each one into a plastic stand. The fielder places a fielder in each one of the positions, including a manager, with the names facing away from the batter. So the person on the fielder's side, they've got them all facing away. That way the person over here batting cannot see what's going on. Step 3 here, the batter strips out the 20 die-cut batter's cards. These cards are shuffled and placed face down on the area marked on deck circle. So we've got that right here, we've got our cards. We're going to place them on the on deck circle. So I think we're ready to play the game. The play. Step 4A. The batter takes the top card from the on-deck circle, places it face up on the batter's box, and announces the name of the player. Alright, who do we have here? Rube Barb. He's now in the batter's box. 4B. The batter rolls the dice and notes the name on the dice. The batter must now guess where these names are playing. The batter guesses one at a time. So example, the batter rolls the dice and why and which come up. And we're just going to go ahead and go with the example here. We've got why and which. The batter places the die marked Y in front of the third base and says, Y is on third base. Y is on third base. The fielder answers where Y is playing. So is it on third base? Y is playing in the pitcher's spot. So they would answer, Y is pitching. So you'll want to have to remember that since this is a memory game. The batter takes the die marked which, got right here, and places it in front of right field and said, which is playing in right field? So let's put them out there. Which is playing in right field? The fielder answers where which is playing. Which is playing in left field. Remember, which in left field and why is the pitcher. If you get a correct guess, which we did not get, when the batter guesses the fielder in the correct position, that fielder must be turned around with his name now facing the batter. So let's just say, for example, we had said Y is pitching. They said, oh yes, Y is pitching. Now they would stay turned around just like that. Number 6 for an incorrect guess. If the batter incorrectly guesses which position the fielder occupies, the fielder must tell the batter the correct position, but no fielder is turned around. After the batter has completed both guesses, one for each die, the turn is over and the batter begins each new turn by turning over the top card from the on-deck circle, placing in the batter's box, and tossing the dice again. So basically you would just repeat your steps there. We'll go ahead and see what card number 2 would have held for us. Tomato! So you would go ahead and roll the dice again and go through the same things. Okay, when a star comes up on your dice here, it's wild, and the batter can use any name in its place. If the dice are rolled and 1 star and 1 name come up, so if you got 1 star and you had who, the star must be played first. If 2 stars come up, the batter gets 2 wild guesses. So you could guess anything you wanted. So we got the star, we could say, which is playing left field? And they'd have to turn it around for us. Number 9, a pinch hitter. If a pinch hitter card is turned up, it is wild and is used like a star. So we've got this pinch hitter. He's all lined up to bat right here. There's what he looks like. The batter may use the card by placing him immediately in the batter's box or put him aside to be used more usefully on another turn. When using the pinch hitter, the dice are not rolled. So we'd have this pinch hitter, and I suppose we'd just get 2 turns with him and we could say anything we want. I don't care is on first base. They'd say, no, what is on first base? Then you'd move him to wherever else and take another guess. Number 10 here is what really makes this an interesting game. It's called the batter's challenge. So if the batter rolls a name of a fielder that has already been turned around, the batter challenges the fielder for the location of that player. If the fielder has forgotten and guesses wrong, the batter is entitled to a free guess at naming a player not already turned around. If the fielder guesses correctly, the field remains the same. So that makes this a double memory game, and it is very much the advantage of the fielder to remember where the players are located after they have been turned around. So if we rolled a which or a why, we could do the batter's challenge. Looks like we got a which there, so he's in left field. So according to the rules, we could announce a batter's challenge and challenge the fielder for the location of that player. We, the batter, know that which is in left field now, but if the fielder didn't remember and they guess incorrectly, then I'm entitled to a free guess. So I would get 3 guesses on this turn, basically, if I read that correctly. So number 11, the end of an inning. The batter's inning is over when all the fielders are facing the batter. So if they're all turned around, I got them all correct. We got them all turned around on the field. Then the inning would be over. Or when there are no remaining batter's cards in the on-deck circle. So that would mean I went through everybody and I still could not figure out where they all were. So for number 12, for scoring, at the end of an inning, the score for the batter is the number of batter's cards left unturned in the on-deck circle. So in this scenario, it would be 0. Say we got them all, and we had a few cards left there, then we would count up our cards, and that would be our score. Any unused pinch hitter cards are included in the score. For the next inning, the players change position. The batter becomes the fielder, and the fielder becomes the batter. At the end of the game, the player with the highest score at the end of an agreed number of innings wins the game. So you don't have to play 9 whole innings. You can play a couple, or 3 or 4, or play the whole 9, or go extra innings. It's up to you entirely. There's a variation down here. After you've enjoyed playing Who's on First, you may want to try an interesting variation that will add to the fun and confusion. This variation requires a change in the fielder's response to a batter's guess. All other rules remain the same. The fielder may now tell the batter the correct position or the name of the fielder in the guess position. For example, the batter rolls the dice and why and which come up again. The batter, making the wrong guess, places the die marked Y in front of the third base and says, Y is on third base. The fielder now has 2 choices in responding. Y is on second base, or because is on third base. So you could tell them either of them. And that, my friends, is the Abbott and Costello Who's on First memory game from 1978. Let me show you the back cover of this, since we never got around to that during the first part of the film. Gives you a brief synopsis, a black and white photo, which I think it was better we started with the actual pieces than look at that little picture and spoil it. Not too complex of a game, but looks like some good entertainment. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this video because I really enjoyed making it. It was fun to do something different. I really like Abbott and Costello, and I feel like they're kind of fading out of existence in modern day. So I'm going to bring back a little of it, put it on the net, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.